El Chapo, the most powerful and dangerous drug cartel boss in the world. Joaquin Guzman Loera, known as El Chapo, was born on April 4, 1957 in La Tuna, a remote village in the Mexican state of Sinaloa. His family was poor, making a living by growing corn and marijuana. As a child, Guzman was often beaten by his father. While many of his peers left town to find jobs or education, he chose to stay and work in the family's illegal farming business. This was his first step into the world of narcotics. Over time, Guzman showed intelligence, resilience, and strong organizational skills. He was noticed by major criminal groups and began working for famous drug lords such as Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo. By the late 1980s, after the fall of the Guadalajara cartel following Gallardo's arrest, El Chapo and other figures like Hector Palma and Ismael El Mayo Zambada began building a new network called the Sinaloa Cartel. The organization rapidly expanded, establishing smuggling routes for cocaine, marijuana, heroin, and later fentanyl from South America into North America through dozens of corridors. Guzman maintained control not only with violence but also through extensive bribery. He paid off police officers, government officials, military personnel, and even airport and customs employees. From a poor, uneducated boy, he rose to become one of the most infamous drug kingpins in modern history. His first arrest came in 1993 in Guatemala after a series of shootings and chases. He was extradited to Mexico and imprisoned in Puente Grande, a high-security facility. However, instead of being isolated, Guzman lived like a king behind bars. He bribed prison guards, continued running his cartel, and enjoyed privileges most inmates could never imagine. In 2001, he escaped by hiding in a laundry cart with the help of at least 70 people. The incident shocked the nation and severely damaged the credibility of the Mexican government. El Chapo vanished for over a decade. While on the run, he consolidated power and expanded into other Mexican states and countries. Border cities like Ciudad Juárez, Tijuana, and Nogales turned into war zones as the Sinaloa cartel clashed with rivals. Tens of thousands died in cartel violence. Despite repeated pledges from the government to fight organized crime, El Chapo not only survived, but grew stronger. In February 2014, he was captured a second time in a Navy operation in Mazatlan, a coastal city. Authorities tracked hundreds of phone calls, used advanced surveillance technology, and waited for the right moment. Guzman was arrested while sleeping in a condo with his wife and daughters. This time, he was sent to Altiplano, Mexico's most secure prison. But just 17 months later, in July 2015, El Chapo escaped again. This time, he used a tunnel dug from his shower stall that extended over a kilometer underground to a nearby construction site. The tunnel was equipped with lights, ventilation, and a rail system, including a customized motorcycle mounted on tracks. It was a meticulously planned operation, taking months of engineering and manpower. After this second escape, public outrage surged. The government was under immense pressure to recapture him. The search over the next 6 months was one of the largest ever conducted. Mexican federal police, the Navy, DEA, FBI, and other U.S. agencies collaborated. A surprising twist came when Guzman contacted actor Sean Penn and Mexican actress Kate del Castillo to arrange a secret interview. El Chapo wanted a film made about his life. Communications through email and messaging apps helped authorities narrow down his location. In January 2016, a special operations unit stormed a house in Los Mochis, Sinaloa. A gunfight erupted, killing 5 of Guzman's men. He fled through the sewers but was captured shortly afterward while attempting to flee in a stolen vehicle. This time, Mexico did not take chances. Just 1 year later, in January 2017, he was extradited to the United States amid strict legal and security procedures. El Chapo arrived in New York and was tried in a federal court in Brooklyn. The trial began in November 2018 and lasted over 3 months. It was one of the most high-profile criminal trials in U.S. history. More than 50 witnesses testified, including 14 former associates such as bodyguards, drivers, and traffickers. Testimonies revealed shocking details. Guzman personally killed rivals, tortured enemies, bribed top Mexican officials with millions of dollars, and ran drug shipments via tunnels, trains, airplanes, and even submarines. The trial took place under tight security. The jury was anonymous, protected by armored vehicles and heavily armed marshals. Defense attorneys argued that Guzman was a scapegoat and that El Mayo Zambada was the true leader. However, digital evidence, physical proof, and consistent testimonies showed Guzman's direct leadership. On July 17, 2019, the court sentenced him to life in prison without parole, plus 30 years for firearms charges. He was also ordered to pay $12,600,000,000, the estimated profit of his drug empire. He now resides in ADX Florence, the most secure prison in the United States, nicknamed the Alcatraz of the Rockies. The case had massive impact on both Mexico and the United States. In Mexico, some people saw El Chapo as a Robin Hood figure. In his home region, songs were written in his honor and celebrations broke out after each escape. But for victims' families, journalists, and law enforcement, he was a monster, responsible for bloodshed and fear. The government's failure to contain him for so long exposed deep issues of corruption and weakness. In the U.S., the trial was seen as a victory in the war on drugs, yet many experts warned that capturing El Chapo did not solve the core problem. The Sinaloa cartel remains active, now led by his sons, known as Los Chapitos. The cartel continues to traffic fentanyl, a synthetic drug far more deadly than heroin, fueling America's opioid crisis. In pop culture, the story of El Chapo became widely known. Netflix released a drama series titled El Chapo, while the popular show Narcos Mexico featured his rise. Narcocorridos, a regional music genre, glorified him. Some criticized this portrayal, fearing it would influence youth to admire drug lords and ignore the violence behind the image. El Chapo's case shows that the war on drugs is more than just police versus criminals. It involves politics, economics, media, and public perception. Guzman was only one part of a billion-dollar global network. Even behind bars, the legacy he left behind still haunts Mexico and the United States, from the mountains of Sinaloa to the streets of Chicago and New York.